Hello and welcome to
Hey, we like your pod.
And we're going to tell you why. Hi, it's Dawn here, and I am joined as always by my trusted partner, Matt Pickett. How you doing, Maddie?
Mostly good. We were talking before we started about a little bit of throat cold, so I have to do that like performative thing that podcasters do where they say, I'm sorry about my voice this week, everybody, but I'm going to keep talking and podcasting anyhow. So yeah, my voice is a little rough. Apologies to the viewers and listeners.
Well, as you know, I can relate. Unfortunately, 'tis the season to be sickly. I'm always sick this time of year. It doesn't matter. I try to stay away from people and do all the masking and, you know.
There hasn't been a single day like in the last month, or at least one person wasn't gone from work. Like we haven't had everybody available every day forever. So yeah, it's definitely all kinds of stuff going around. But you know, I can't complain too much really, Dawn, because it's been an amazing week. Had a lovely Thanksgiving, and I also recognize in saying that like not everybody has, you know, the time or the people or the whatever else, the resources to have a nice Thanksgiving meal. And so, you know, I recognize as a place of privilege from which I talk about that, but it was a lovely time. And you know, obviously still buzzing about the Packers' amazing win over the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. One of my favorite games I've ever seen the Packers play, given like how we feel about the team at this point. We'll get into that more later, but suffice to say, I'm just super jazzed about that game. It's just really got me feeling amazing even still today. So how are you doing, Dawn? How are you?
Same. So that's why I renamed today's podcast, because I wasn't sure what to call it until the Packers won on Thanksgiving Day. So it is now Happy Victory Friday. So for Packer fans and any team who won yesterday, fans, Happy Victory Friday. Happy Victory Friday, Lorenzo. We don't often say that, do we? And then our next game for the Packer fans is going to be a week from Sunday Night Football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be fun. Sunday Night Football is always the best. That's kind of sad because it's the last game of the day of a day of football, but it's still the best.
You have to wait and wait and wait. I mean, like the jingle, you know, the theme song for it, waiting all day, you know, for Sunday night. It's like, it's true. I'll be like so anxious for it, especially because I'm just gonna get into it. Okay, Dawn.
Go ahead.
I realized like last night, you know, well after the game was over, well after, you know, the last pieces of pie had been consumed and the last dishes had been cleaned, I was like, why do I feel so excited about this one game? Like more so than I felt excited about a game in a very long time. I was like, why is it exactly? Mm-hmm. And I realized it's because I haven't felt this good about the team in like literally 2 years, you know,
right?
Because last season was just such a bummer, you know, and it ended so stupid. And like this season has been like, it's, you know, we've talked about it so much on the podcast. It's been like a growing season. It's been like, let's see how it goes, ups and downs, growing team, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But yesterday, Dawn, it was like, wait a minute. We can go into Detroit, to the home of like what is actually a really good team, which is weird to say, and beat them decisively. Not like, you know, oh, we won because they dropped some stuff because the sun was in their eyes. No, like we beat them. We beat them, and the score wasn't even as close really as the final score, because their last touchdown was, I don't like the phrase garbage time, but like it was basically garbage time touchdown because they hadn't really given up, it felt like. So we went in there, Dawn, and we beat them, and the defense actually looked really good, and the offense was amazing, and Jordan Love was like, yeah, everyone, I'm the future of the quarterback position here. I am your franchise quarterback. And it was just it made me so happy. I was cooking stuff for almost the whole entire game. I was making food. And so I'd be like half watching the game, you know, and I'd like catch the replays of the good plays and stuff like that. But my family must have think I was crazy, because I was like screaming from the kitchen like every single time. Like I was like laughing and like half crying with excitement about it. And, like It was amazing. It was a friggin' Thanksgiving miracle. And it was you know, the season has been like, okay, are the Packers gonna be kind of like mediocre to bad for like a while? Are we gonna have like these doldrums we're gonna go through for like an extended period of time? I don't know. Maybe not with that, with those kinds of signs of like the way how the, you know, team's arrow is pointing up so strongly. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I was excited. I couldn't get to sleep until like 4 a.m. because I was so like just excited about it. You're messaging me on you know, Twitter at like 2:30 my time. You must be like, why is Matt awake? Well, I
I
could be
know. I was so tired. What are
so,
you doing?
yeah. So I'm absolutely jazzed about the game. It was so much fun to watch or half watch. And you know, just the signs that they're showing, the work they did there against you know, a division opponent, like it was so good. Anyhow, those all to be talking. You should talk now.
I'll talk now. So it was the game we've all been waiting for. It was the
Yes.
game that the optimistic side of us all has been craving and probably didn't expect to happen until next year with this very new young team.
Yes.
And they've shown so many flashes, our quarterback and the rest of the team. And what's really cool is I mean, it's not cool that we had the long list of injuries that we had, but this was literally mostly our second string team.
Yeah.
So maybe they shouldn't be our second string team. Maybe that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the coaches need to have a little bit more competition going on in the locker room or whatever to get those positions. But the Lions were number one across the entire league. And I think they're like number two. They're certainly number one in the conference, right?
I don't know what kind of standings they have. All I know is they're one of the best teams. People
They
widely
are.
regarded as one of the best teams in the NFL right now.
They
Which,
sure are. And
yeah,
we
for good
also
reason.
lost. Yeah, we lost to them once, didn't we already
Yep.
this year? We were like, oh, it's okay. It's the
Oh,
Lions. They're really good.
we got handled by them. They were up
Yes.
like 3 scores, I think, within the first quarter. It was ridiculous. It was bad.
And I usually feel sorry for Lions, but wow, the fans, and
Yeah.
because they've been so pitiful for so long, but boy, they were dejected and oh my goodness, they were so upset walking out of the stadium like in the third quarter. It was sad and beautiful at the same time. My little mean spirit coming out. Yeah, it was something else. We just haven't known what to expect. And so the
Mm-hmm.
coolest thing I think about life in general, and we know football is life, is having no expectations and being happily surprised by things like this. And we just really want our team to, and they showed such happiness to the joy that we
Mm-hmm.
have in this team. So even though we might not be winning the way we thought to this year, that joy is still there. But I want to know what happened to Jordan Love's turkey. What the heck?
Yes. I'm going
What?
to talk about
Tell
that
me.
later a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you're going to talk about it because
Yep. He was
I'm
wrong
mad.
on public
I'm
TV.
mad.
Yes.
I'm mad.
The
I
disrespect.
think, okay, so I don't know if it was disrespect or that, well, I guess this would be disrespectful, but that the Lions really didn't think the Packers were going to win. So they didn't have the preparation for it. Because honestly, the Packers have been doing pretty weird. They've been close on so many games that were winnable. But yeah, this was fun. And what a great day for football all around. I will say that other two games that I watched were kind of blowouts.
They're kind of boring.
Cowboys
Yeah.
against the Commanders. It was like, okay, I'm bored. And then who was the other? Oh, 49ers and Seahawks. Yeah, 49ers and Seahawks. The Seahawks did not do very well either. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it was the funnest game, I think. But maybe it's
oh
just
yeah.
because we
Well,
it was a little
yeah,
closer.
it was closer.
And I think anyone watching that game, most people, I mean, I don't know what the Las Vegas odds were for the Lions winning, but I think most people tuning into that game tuned in to see the Packers beat, and I think even if you weren't a Lions or a Packers fan and you were watching that and you're a football fan and you know the stories,
Mhm.
um, you would have enjoyed that much more than the other two games. But that's just my opinion. If you're watching this or replaying, let us know what you think about that. But congratulations to all the teams that won yesterday. Happy victory. Friday, except for the 49ers. Sorry.
Except for they get no happy for you guys.
No happy.
No,
no
we
happy
were. I
Friday
think we were 7.5 point underdogs going into the game, and so obviously proved that wrong. Covered the spread. And
7.5 point losers. Did you say
underdogs? Yeah, they're like,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like significantly 2 scores basically, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cowboys and the Commanders game, I mean, it was so bad that it got the Commanders DC fired, you know, so that's rough.
Yeah.
And from the Seahawks game, I think the one thing that's kind of fun from it though, did you see JSN's like grab, his one-handed grab that he did?
Oh, that was beautiful.
Really cool. That was really cool. I still think we got the better got the better bargain with Jaden Reed actually in the end, but
right.
Yeah. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. So
that was beautiful. I'm glad I was watching that. Well, all right, Maddie, we're going to keep it short because you're under the weather. I'm still trying to recover. Still on antibiotics. The sickly crew here. We're here to give it to you straight, though, about the content that we enjoyed this week.
That's right.
And so let's volley it back and forth, Maddie. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go first.
Love it.
And this one is a 4-minute read. Okay, it's not a long read. It has the funniest lines. This article is by Arnold McQuaid.
McQuaid Arnold. He's funny.
Oh, it is McQuaid Arnold. I was like, did he put his last name first? Okay, thank you. And so this is from Wisconsin Sports Heroics, and it's hilarious. I thought. I don't think it was meant to be hilarious. I will say they do have the best clickbait headlines. I click on every single one of them. I need to do that better, learn how to make those headlines. But it's about, so the title is Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers' chances of returning in 2023 just took a massive hit. Of course, they're talking about everything that's going on in the Jets. The whole saga, a little bit of saga with his leaving the Packers, all that drama, and then going to the Jets, and then his major statement that he thinks he's going to return this season, even though he had just this massive injury to his, it was an Achilles. Was his the Achilles? I can't even remember anymore. So many injuries, so little time.
Pretty sure. Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. So he quotes Steve Serby of the New York Post. And Steve said, with all due respect to Aaron Rodgers, your miracle comeback attempt is gallant and inspiring, but take a long, hard look to think about this. Wait till next year, because the team you desperately want to return to now has a wait till next year written all over it. Mm-hmm. So, of course, we know Zach Wilson was benched. Did you know this? Wilson left. He was benched before without completing. Sorry, I am not a daytime person. Left without completing a single pass to a wide receiver.
What?
He didn't have one single pass to a wide receiver. It must have been that game. And this is so funny. In his press conference, and we're talking about Zach Wilson, who's been benched. He quoted him saying, "We didn't complete much passes to anybody."
Woof.
Woo. And then, of course, we've got Boyle stepping in. We know Boyle from the Packers.
Playing right now, actually, as we're recording this. You know that.
Is there a game today?
Yeah, it's the Black Friday game, which I think is maybe a new thing.
Yeah. Oh, it must be. I didn't know.
Jets are playing somebody else's right now. I'm actually looking. I'll tell you the score real fast.
Oh, we need to know. We need to know.
Keep going.
So he says, Saleh said, he's quoting Saleh, "We're going to have to look at the tape and we'll make a decision." And the author here, McQuaid, says he might want to burn the tape instead. Anyway, it's a great little 4-minute read. I enjoyed every minute of it, of course, because I'm spiteful. So, but there were some really funny lines in there that he pulled together. And so Wisconsin Sports Heroic, McQuaid Arnold, that I was so confused about. My apologies.
I like McQuaid. He's funny. He's a funny guy. He's got good insights too. So.
I love humor, especially when we're losing. It's the best.
So, excuse me. Oh, waiting for the score to pop up here. They're showing some
Okay.
highlights or something, but it is Jets versus the Dolphins. Oh my goodness, 10-0, and it's almost at
Oh
halftime.
dear.
Oh, we could have gone
Oh,
live at halftime in a game today. They're almost at halftime now. But
I
anyhow,
had no idea. Are they almost at halftime?
almost at
Okay.
halftime, yeah. So
Okay,
this is
good.
going to be probably
Well,
a blowout, though. But I do believe Tim Boyle's the one playing
oh,
quarterback
they just
today
got an
for them. So
interception. The Jets just scored.
there you go. Okay,
They
that's because
just
we
got an
clearly turned it on. That's
interception.
why. So
Yeah.
all right, now should I do my next one?
Yeah, let's
My
hear
first
it.
one right there. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this whole week is like, as far as like how you and I approach, talking about the content from this week and like the kind of a regular cycle is, of course, just totally upended with having a Thursday game and especially being on a holiday. So we didn't record last night after the game like we would have probably otherwise. We're
Mhm.
recording on a Friday, which is weird, and we're recording on a Friday
It's
after
weird.
like content has started to come out about a game instead of like it's been out for almost a week. So
Mhm.
the whole like process and act of trying to like gather things to talk about for
Mhm.
today's episode is really weird. I feel like I was trying to like keep my fingers on the pulses of two different like games worth of content that was coming out.
Right, we had 2 games in 1 week since our
Yeah,
last podcast.
so
So
just so much stuff, and of course
it's been a
yesterday with it
lot.
being like such a wonderful joyful experience. A lot of the stuff that was coming out was just people super excited about it. So like I felt like okay, what else going on out there
Right.
with content? Okay. So
Yeah.
I think though because of that and like the sort of like wash of enthusiasm and like good vibes coming from yesterday, it's easy to quickly forget about the Chargers game, which was a lot of fun.
Right.
Um, and one of my favorite things from the Chargers game, as far as content goes, was that our friend Dusty Evely did this great breakdown of how this one play that showed sort of like the Chargers defense tendencies to the way how we showed a certain look was then exploited against the Chargers later. And like this is a thing that we know happens in football, like plays build
Mhm.
off other plays and like counters and reactions, whatever else. Like that's a thing. But Dusty was able to clearly like demonstrate in like a little 8-minute video about how this happened, and it was specifically in relation to the play that it was a touchdown to Christian Watson, and after the game Matt LaFleur was talking about how they drew it up on the sideline basically based off of this um this tell basically that the defense had, so they exploited that. And it was the tight ends coach. I want to say Ben Simmons, I think is his name, is the one who kind of like said, "Hey, look out for this. Let's use this." And they did. Play they hadn't practiced, but they threw it together
Right.
there and got a touchdown off of it. So
It
Dusty
was
broke that down. Like here's what the touchdown looked like. Here's what happened. Here's the
Mhm.
play that kind of informed that. Then let's look at the touchdown again, knowing what we've learned about it from the previous play.
Mhm.
Typically excellent stuff from Dusty.
Of
Really
course.
really educational, really
Mhm.
clearly articulated, and with
Mhm.
Dusty's typical, sort of like humor and self-deprecation. So really good stuff. Highly recommended. Easy to miss and overlook. Really
Sure.
our heads are all up in this newest win. So yeah, good stuff.
Exactly, and 2 games and, a holiday and days off and partly working. Probably those who were working did 2 weeks worth of work in 3 days, so they're
Hmm.
burnt out, so
Hmm.
there's just like this time warp that happens this time of year, and it starts right, this week. So it was just, yeah, just a weird week, but hey, Jackie King, Packer fan, thanks for checking in, nice to see you. Um, the Jets, missed their extra point. There were a lot of missed extra points this week. What
Yeah.
the heck?
What the heck? I don't know. It's weird.
What the
Weird.
heck? Okay, and so the Jets just missed one, keeping it alive, that missed point. Thanks, Jets. So, you should be able to tell from my accent that I'm from Wisconsin, especially because I'm spending so much more time with Wisconsin people here in California. But I've lived out here much, much longer than I've lived in Wisconsin. So my accent comes and goes. Oh, you're from Janesville.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Racine for me. Okay. So by the way, I just got to say I love the Dolphins coach.
Yeah, he's
I
awesome.
love him. I forgot his name. Mick Daniels.
Hmm.
I wanted to say McDaniel. And then we got the firing. Was that this week? Everything's all mixed up in my head of the coach for the Raiders. Thankfully, And so I'm going to talk about that real quick.
Go for it.
Yeah. Where did I put it? Hold on a second. Oh, here it is. Sorry, guys. I lost my link. I'm going to give it to you right here. This whole Raiders thing, this really horrible situation with the Raiders, which I've been talking about for a year or more. And they had Josh McDaniels. I always get the two McDaniels. So that's good. He's out of the picture now.
Josh McDaniels, Mike McDaniels, Kevin O'Connell, any of those like Irish last names it's been a problem for me to keep them straight this year. No, totally. Right. I'm with you.
Okay, so this comes from Wi-Fi Willie. Wi-Fi Willie has it's about a 1 hour piece on YouTube, and it's called Every Awful Allegation Against Josh McDaniels, if you wanted to know what kind of person this was. Now, I just noticed the way he coached and the way he came in, and I will say I have said positive things about Rich Bisaccia, who should have been promoted to head coach over there at the Raiders. But I don't want him promoted to head coach at the Packers. I do not think. I think they knew what they knew. They knew what they knew in Las Vegas, and they didn't promote him. I don't think he is head coach material. Personally, that's just my feeling. I like him, but it's just all too easy to want to replace your head coach when things aren't going well. And I would not say by any means that things are not going well for the Packers. It's a new team with a new quarterback. So but anywho, that's not the case with Josh McDaniels. So this Wi-Fi Willie, just never heard of him before. Don't know who he is, where he's from. Don't come at me if you don't like him. I'm sorry. I just happened to find this one and I don't know why. YouTube just knows what I need when I need it. I love the algorithms of YouTube. It's helped me find some really fantastic content. So read it. The link will be in the comments. Hate to be negative, but hey, it is what it is.
You got to call it the stuff that needs to be called out. So
yeah. All right, Maddie, what's your next one?
All right, I'm intrigued by that, Dawn. I'm gonna check that out later for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it's ugly.
I don't doubt it. So my next one is okay. So Packers Twitter yesterday was just a lie.
Oh my gosh, the Jets! I'm sorry, the Jets just got another interception. I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
What the heck? Okay,
Jets defense is good. They're legit. So Packers Twitter was a florid, beautiful place yesterday. Just tweets upon tweets, all kinds of good stuff out there. So actually, my last two I'm going to have here, this one I'll get to in a second. Both are very much related to like the outpouring of amazing tweets yesterday. So this one was best statistic. This is one that Zach Jacobson tweeted out. Zach Jacobson, who does he's a great writer, great podcaster, great tweetsmith. I feel like we don't mention him often enough on this show, but I love his stuff. So he's great, and he does a really good impersonation of the Lions coach. Incidentally, I have a clip of that. So Zach Jacobson. This is a tweet that.
Are you going to play it?
No, I don't have it handy.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it was funny. It was he was on an episode of Last Call Lambo one time and was being very silly. But anyhow, this statistic that Zach Jacobson unearthed.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, this game is insane.
So it's actually a good game happening. That's interesting.
The second pick, and Boyle threw an interception to.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, to the Dolphins. The Dolphins ran it back. There's 2 seconds left before the halftime, and they just touched down the whole entire field. Okay. Huh. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry, but that was
there's an exciting game happening.
That was crazy.
So
okay.
This is you're trying to build up the suspense for this amazing statistics. That's all it is, right?
Right.
It's just good storytelling. So anyhow,
love it.
Zach Jacobson, he tweeted this.
Zach.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, he said Aaron Rodgers has 2,500. Aaron Rodgers had 2,599 passing yards and 21 total touchdowns through his first 11 games as the starter. Jordan Love has 2,599 passing yards and 21 total touchdowns through his first 11 games as a starter. Those are the same numbers, Dawn. What?
I know. It's beautiful. What? It's beautiful. I love it.
That's another thing about the game yesterday that got me so excited is it's like he's on pace with like what Rodgers was doing, at least in like certain statistical,
Right.
measures. Like those are
Right.
important ones. Yards and touchdowns are super important. So like
Mhm.
if he's keeping pace with Rodgers, I don't know, Don. I don't know. I don't want to say we have our next like first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback for the next 12 years, whatever. But maybe there's a chance. So it could
Yeah.
happen. Yeah. So another reason why I was so excited about that game.
Yes.
Really kind of wrapped up in that one statistic.
Right.
Big
Yeah.
ups to Zach
He.
for figuring that one out. That seems like how do you even like see that? How do you even know that? That's exceptional. So
Right.
that's stuff.
Right. It was, and it is, and not only that, but I don't think maybe. I mean, I wasn't paying attention to football back then, but the joy that we have now with the team, it's not like I'm too cool to celebrate. Like Justin, I'm sorry, Justin. Jordan reminded me a little bit of Favre. He's not afraid to celebrate. He's not afraid to get with the rest of the team. He's not above everyone else over in the corner, just it's all about me type of thing. He's got such a joy about him. And I love the way he prances around and gallops. And I think I've mentioned that before,
Mm-hmm.
but also, he's tough, man. He talks smack. I saw the referees looking at him one time like I thought he was going to get penalized because it was after one of the touchdowns and he was running back toward the benches or wherever he was going, and the ref was like, and he was just, his mouth was going, let's just say, and the ref was looking at him and running with him. It's like, I thought for sure he was going to get nailed, but I love that about him. He's not afraid of anything. And, and I know with that, statistic and other comparisons to Rodgers' first year, a lot of people don't want him compared to Rodgers, and I'm personally get that, but it is promising because we know how well Rodgers, turned out. So yeah, that's
promising.
Really cool. Yeah, it is. It's so promising. So Maddie, did you want to oh wait, let's get a comment from our chat here. Jackie King says, am I the only one who thinks Rodgers signed for millions as long as he could get injured in the beginning of the season? Rodgers says, use my name. I'm sitting this one out. Another conspiracy theory, but anything's possible. It was so weird. That was so weird. You got to admit.
Yeah, it was definitely weird.
It was so weird. And when I looked at it, it's like he wasn't hurt. I remember saying to my sister, he's such a baby. He's not hurt. Of course, I guess he's hurt, but no, you're not alone, Jackie. I'm a conspiracy theorist with the best of them. Now, did you want to give both of them together, Matt? Since
sure, might as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll do my last one, then you do your last one. Sure.
Okay.
All right. So my other one was another thing that kind of was very like Twitter specific. So how you were saying you were really upset that Jordan Love didn't get like his turkey leg at the end of the game. Yeah. Which is tradition for all of the games on Thanksgiving, not just the second and third ones, as some people tried to throw out there. I did my research on this, all right? I found an article from The Athletic that talked about, this is like every game, and they listed off some of the notable ones, which included Lions games, and Lions always play the first game on Thanksgiving. So anyhow, this always happens, every Thanksgiving game. So we're watching the game, of course. Jordan Love is out at the end talking to,
was it Aaron? Aaron Andrews?
Was it? I don't know. I can't remember who it was.
It kind of looked like her. It sounded like, I couldn't tell.
I wish I could say conclusively. Let's go with Aaron Andrews. Sure. So at the end talking to Aaron Andrews, and she said even like, sorry, we don't have a turkey leg for you, but we'll make a donation to blah, 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 whatever, which is standard practice anyhow. So
right. You just don't get the turkey. You get the donation without the turkey.
Right. You should get both. Both. So they didn't have a turkey leg for him. And that was that had Packers Twitter in an uproar. So anyhow. Michael Allen, who is hilarious. So he's an amazing Twitter follow. Michael Allen's a good dude. So he tweeted this, and there was some stuff that happened from it. It's pretty great. So Michael said, "It isn't an NFL game day without a conspiracy theory. Be sure to share this with that uncle." So then he had like a clip of like the turducken that Greg Olson was like, let's say playing around with earlier in the broadcast. It was people were kind of upset by the way he was touching it. But
Ew,
so
I didn't see that.
yeah, it was. You got to check it out. It is something else.
I
So
will. I will.
so Greg Olsen is like handling this turducken. Is kind of falling apart as he's like inspecting it, and so Michael Allen had put like kind of the clip of this, and he said, this turducken was presented to Greg Olsen to show to the camera, but he went and destroyed it, not knowing it was the only one prepped. This is the conspiracy theory. And this is why Jordan Love didn't get a turkey leg, because Greg Olsen had messed the thing up on air. Conspiracy theory. So it's Greg Olsen's fault, you know?
Greg.
So that was funny, first of all. And then Michael Allen got like a bajillion like engagements from that. People reposting, bookmarking, quote tweeting, you know, the people want answers kind of a thing. And so that was amazing. But then later in the day, Dawn, Greg Olsen himself quote tweeted this and just said, wrong.
I didn't see that. I love it.
Excuse me, it's killing me over here. So good.
Sorry.
So
sorry, you're sick.
Oh, you know, whatever. It happens. So yeah, I just thought it was so cool because first of all, funny thing to tweet out there. Lots of engagement from Michael, which is great because he's awesome. Greg Olsen himself, you know, quoting him, all of this. And I quick side note too. I do want to say with all this, Greg Olsen is my favorite.
I like him a lot.
Guy in the booth, you know, analyst for the games. He and who's he do the games with? Who's the guy who's with him there? I should know, Kevin Burkhardt, right? So
there we go. I forgot too.
I think they're the best duo. I like them so much. So like all the more so it's like, oh, Greg Olsen, you know, he's a good dude. He's just kind of stepping in here and stuff. Now I think he caught a lot of heat on Twitter from people being like, what happened, Greg Olsen? Where's the turkey leg? So I think by the end of the day, he might have been just a little bit like kind of annoyed by it, but regardless, I don't know. The whole thing just tickled me. I thought it was amazing.
Hopefully he thinks it's funny. And I will honestly say that you all know, if you've been following our podcast for a while, that I generally turn off the national broadcast and I listen to the game on Packers radio and watch it on national broadcast. And they're so good that I listened to them the whole first half of the game. And then halftime, I just left the scene and got on with Wayne and Larry. Oh, and that was delightful. It was beyond delightful. They were just like, what is happening? No, it was so good. So I love it. Well, my final superlative goes to the best short reaction video. And this goes to Rich Eisen.
Oh, we like him.
And it's entitled, and again, it's a short video. I went with short reads and short videos this week because it's that kind of a week. We don't need a 20-minute hour. I lied. That last one was an hour, but anyway, you don't have to watch the whole thing. It's so good. You'll get the vibe from it in probably about 5 minutes. So the best short reaction video goes to Rich Eisen, and it's on YouTube, and it's entitled "Wow." Rich Eisen reacts to the Packers' Thanksgiving Day domination of the Detroit Lions. And he was just calling out all the Packer fans. It was so positive and fun. It was an impromptu video. And that just goes to show how people responded yesterday, because this really was, it was a long time coming if you know what the potential is as a Packer fan, but it was totally unexpected to people who were watching on national television who had no idea what this team could do. And this has just been a fun week. And, you know, who knows what the end of the other thing I was thinking about entitling our podcast for today is peaking at the right time, ? Because one of the problems that I think that the Packers have had the last few years is not peaking at the right time, peaking too early. And we certainly didn't do that. I mean, we had signs of glimpses of greatness early on too, but with all these injuries and hopefully most of them coming through those injuries, now we have 10 days off, right? Until Sunday Night Football.
I guess, yeah.
13. How many days? No, not 13.
3 days in a week.
Yeah, 11 days, I think. So, and you know, Detroit is a travel game, but it's so close to Wisconsin. It's not like going cross country or anything like that. So in any case, maybe, just maybe, y'all can tell us what you think. And I don't know what the content creators are saying about this, because I didn't have time to listen to a lot after the game because I was watching football and doing things. So
Doing things.
cooking
Me
like
too.
you.
I was
Yeah,
doing things all day.
right. So it was a day. So in any case, loved that from Rich Eisen. Really loved it. Especially the impromptu nature of it. He was just so good.
It is literally the first thing I'm going to do when we're done here is go check that out. Actually, I'm excited
Oh,
to see
good.
that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Well, folks, so Maddie, any final thoughts? I know your throat is sore. My throat is sore. Any final thoughts before we log off?
I guess I would just say that, freaking go pack go. That was so much fun. Watch the highlights, live it up. We have however you count it, 10 or 11 days until the next game. So,
Mm-hmm.
let's just celebrate that. And
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy because some of the really smart people out there were saying if we can get one or two one of these next two games, meaning the Lions and the Chiefs, then maybe we have a shot at the playoffs, because the rest of our schedule after that's pretty easy for the most part. So crazy to think that we might actually like sneak into the playoffs with like the 7th seed or something like that. So I don't know, this is just a great time to get excited about the team again after
Sure.
some like a
Yeah.
rough month or whatever,
Yeah.
before the Steelers game that month. I mean, I think from the Steelers to the Chargers to now, it's kind of like we're ramping up. So I don't know,
Right.
just get excited, enjoy it. It's not a lot of like we're past halfway through the season, so just let's just enjoy it. It's a good time, good vibes.
Yeah, stay in the moment. In the moment. That's how I am.
Mhm.
That's why I enjoy life so much, because if you get too far ahead of yourself, then you're just setting
Mhm.
yourself up for whatever. Whatever.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. All right, Don. Any final thoughts from you, or should I hit the?
I just want to
ending
say
here?
thank you. We're recording on YouTube. You might be listening on our podcast tomorrow, but thank you to the 999 followers on YouTube. We're almost to 1,000.
Right,
So
almost
thanks
1,000.
for that. And I will be
Wow.
back with my true crime show. Yeah, with my true crime show, either at 6 p.m. Pacific tonight, which is 9 p.m. Eastern, or tomorrow, depending on how my throat holds up. So yeah, thank you to everyone subscribing and chatting. We love the chat. So nice to meet you, Jackie, and from Wisconsin in Janesville. That's just so
Jackie from
awesome.
Janesville. Yeah.
Jackie from Janesville. Love it. Okay, Maddie, let's bring her home.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned about Thanksgiving. I should say real fast here, I also want to say thanks for the many amazing people who have given us their time to come on the show. We've had an amazing track record. Most of the people who we've asked have come on, and we've been very fortunate for that.
Oh my goodness.
Those who
Yes, our
haven't,
guests.
I don't begrudge you that. You don't owe us anything.
Mhm.
But for those who did, we really appreciate it. And thanks to all the people who've ever interacted with us. Listened to the show, shared the show, anything like that. So we are thankful for all of y'all out there.
Thankful and thankful for the Packers. I will. Okay, I didn't know I said I was done, but you just brought something else up. I did pop on. I did pop on for a short bit yesterday to friend of the show and previous guest, Mike Spofford's Packers blog, which was pretty fun. There were things in there, and I did screenshot I think I put one up on Twitter. That was funny. There was one comment, and I was like, only in Wisconsin, only Green Bay Packers fan. There was somebody making, a joke or whatever, and he was laughing, and he said, "You're making it really hard to," how did he say it? He's in a deer stand, basically. He's like, "You're making it really hard to maintain my composure in my deer stand." So he probably was laughing so hard that he chased away all the deers, which I am happy for as a vegan. So you're very welcome, Jackie. Super nice to meet you. We normally come on live to record our podcast, which you can also listen to anywhere you listen to podcasts. But we normally do halftime Thursday Night Football. So if you ever want to come back, we'll see you then. Okay, Maddie, let's this time for sure bring her home.
This time for real.
Okay, for reals.
All right, so friends, of course, you'll find links in our show description for everyone we mentioned, so please check it out. Also, we'd love to have a chance to interview you and shout you out if you're a subscriber and football fan, or one or the other, whatever. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a guest on our, like Jackie, if you want to nominate someone to be a guest on our podcast, please let us know. Our DMs are open on all the social platforms, and folks, when you subscribe to our podcast, you help us to keep spreading the love in our community. And the best way to help this podcast grow is by sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes, Maddie, that's right, because we love you. We're so glad to know you, to be fans of you, and have the luxury of being fans of the most storied team in the NFL.
Mhm.
We appreciate your support, your subscriptions, and sharing our pod. And we look forward to seeing you next week on
Hey, we like your pod.
Football in general comes down to discipline and people owning their roles. And when you aren't disciplined or you go